Are you ready to finally admit that Oceans is a better song than No Church in the Wild? Come on.
I knew you were going to
This is
bring
this
this
is
up.
this space. This is the space to
I
do this. Come
knew
on.
you were going to bring this up. Plead your case for Oceans again, please, because I still don't see it. Like, I need you to do this for me.
I mean, it's everything about Oceans. It's Frank at not. I don't think it's peak Frank, but it's very good Frank. It's Frank coming off of Nostalgia Ultra, and it's that era of Frank,
Right.
and just and we're talking about lyrical J, like the vividness of his lyrics, the bitingness of his lyrics, the way he try to juxtapose these different sort of uh swoosh. Now we're gonna ball to swoosh. Now it's baller, something like that. But like you can see him really trying to weave in the intricacies of his struggle with being rich and being black in America, and the history of what being black in America means.
Right.
And while Jay is definitely someone, this album is definitely capitalistic Jay. At the same time, though, Oceans is a thoughtful enough song to that. I think for No Church in the Wild, if you put Oceans on this album, I'll admit it's probably like sixth or seventh best song. But at the same time, I still think it's better than No Church in the Wild. I think No Church in the Wild is. I think they use it to really build up the album. Like if you listen to that beat, it's it's subdued.
Yeah.
It's undertoned, underplayed, but then we eventually get to Murdered Excellence, Who Won't Stop Me, these big ass beats, and so you can make the argument it's a better intro, but it's not a better song.
More better than no church though, man. It's so beautiful. Like the lyrics that Hove put on Oceans would not have fit this album. Can we say that?
No, we can't, because if you listen to, I
Why?
mean,
Ah,
even Murder to Excellence, like Murder to Excellence, where it's talking about black and black crime, which ew.
beautiful
But
song. Beautiful song.
yeah, the song is beautiful, but
A little
black
too
and black
real
crime.
nowadays, but it's always been a little too real.
But if you like, and actually, to be honest, like the lows of this album, which we only listen to the deluxe. I don't listen to just the regular. It was always the deluxe.
Thank you.
I would I would say the lows, Lift Off. I think Lift Off is definitely the worst song on this album.
Yeah.
But I would say Lift Off, No Church in the Wild is kind of mid. The funny thing is, I love
Wow.
that's I yes, No Church in the Wild is mid. I love That's My Bitch, but the placement on the album I
It's
don't think is
bad.
good.
It's bad.
It's not. It's like the place like it that's a song that could have either been one of the early songs or just an extra bonus song.
It
The
should have been a
placement of
bonus
it is
song.
not good. Yeah. And so the placement of that's not good. I don't I don't necessarily like Made in America. Honestly. It's okay.
It's
It's kind
pretty.
of mid.
It's very
It's
Blueprint 3-ish.
Now Why I Love You is a great way to close out the album.
The
I
only Mr. Hudson song I've ever liked in my life, because I still
oh
don't forgive
shit.
him for Young Forever. It's that trash ass
Oh,
song. Ugh.
oh yeah. But but so this is the last time I want to ask you. No Church in Wild or Oceans?
No Church in the Wild.
Jesus. Jesus.
It's the beat doesn't do it for me, man. I mean, Hove is spitting and Frank is singing, but the beat doesn't do it for me. It's like no, man. No.
Muhammad
No.
Hovi, oh, what the fuck is it? He's
He
like
said Muhammad Hovey.
Hovi.
I just was looking at it.
Muhammad Hovi, my back's against the boat. The black. Oh, damn! I forget the fucking
Muhammad
song
Hovey, my
now.
back against the rope. The black Maybach. I'm back
Back
inside the
inside the
boat.
boat.
Shepherd
Shepherd's
Fair.
Ferry finally gave me some hope.
Can't believe they got a nigga to vote.
Democrat, nope, so dope.
In
In
troubled
trouble waters,
waters, I had to
learn
learn
how to
float
float.
on the ocean. I'm in heaven, yachting, Ocean 11, yachting,
The Ocean 11 dismount was a little iffy,
yachting, Ocean
but
11.
I just like him where I guess the long and short of it, man.
I will say though that the beat for Holy Grail, which Hove also recorded around this time, and Ye fought him over this record just like he did Oceans. Um, Now the beat for Holy Grail, I think, is better than both the Oceans beat and the No Church beat.
But I haven't listened to that song, but isn't his verse kind of mid in that song?
On Magna Carta, yeah. The verse is definitely mid, but I was just saying
Yeah.
the Justin's hook works, and then I feel like Hove kind of dropped the ball in his lyrics, but I think the beat is really dope and would have fit well into Watch the Throne. I think it would fit better than both Oceans and Church in the Wild.
Blue told me you remind y'all niggas. Nigga, this shit all that nigga. Like, bro, your 2-year-old did not tell you to tell people that you're this shit, bro. Like it's okay, Jay-Z. Like it's okay, sir.
Oh man. It's also a hard pivot to come off of a New Day when they're talking about their unborn children at that time and then go right in them, that's my bitch. So
And
so
then, also calling women bitches. Like, especially he's a married man. So it's
yes.
kind of
Yes.
yeah.
So so much. Can we talk about the 4 tracks on the or besides Ham? Can we talk about the 3 other tracks on the deluxe version?
Prime time, basking in the lime, Cassius in his prime, cut out of the line because they don't want nobody that's cut out of the line. Some ladies a motherfucker color people time. Like, yeah. Like,
Prime time. Um Illest motherfucker alive. Like my God. My God. Like I literally I was going to work this morning. I was running through Westover and I was just gunning it. And that shit was on full blast, yo. And I was like, let's motherfucker alive. Pulling in, yo. Russell
yeah, man.
Brand. Russell
Russell
Crowe.
Crowe. Like the Joy definitely should have made the regular version. Like
If it hadn't
that's
been a Good Friday record, I think it would have.
I mean, I would of the 4 to make the regular album, like in all honesty, like you take off Made in America, you put the Joy in its place, and you end on Why I Love You. Like,
That's a dismount. That's
yeah,
a dismount, sir.
if you replace, I, I think, you have to put. I do get the idea of why you would put a song between New Day and Welcome to the Jungle. I get it because the energy pivot is so strong.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you can, if you want to put something there, you maybe can fit Prime Time there.
Yeah.
Either Prime Time or this motherfucker alive, maybe. But you take New Day off. You make that. I'm sorry. You take that's my shit. You take That's My Bitch off. You make that a bonus track. You swap that with Prime Time. You take Made in America off. That's just a song that doesn't make anything. And you put the Joy there, and the standard version is way better.
You feel about Made in America the way I feel about Oceans, it sounds like.
Well, I guess we kind of come to the conclusion that Frank with Jay is 1 for 3. My 1 is Oceans and your 1 is No Church in a Wild. So
yeah. I can agree to that. Can you imagine the Who Gon' Stop Me into Illest Motherfucker Alive though, if they had done that? That's a hell of, I mean, it's the BPMs and the mood don't fit, but if they could have pulled that off, like, and smacked those into each other somehow, like, my God, that would have caused somebody to have heart palpitations before they got the Murdered Excellence, man.
I think if you have Welcome to the Jungle, you said Illest Motherfucker Alive, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Jungle, Illest Motherfucker. If you have, even on their set list that they perform, Welcome to the Jungle, Illest Motherfucker Alive, Who Won't Stop Me, Murdered Excellence, The Joy, and then Why I Love You. If they have that on the standard version of this album, that's probably top three J album and probably second best, well, third best Kanye album.
What's your number one Kanye album?
Oh, it's still Dropout. I haven't listened to Dropout, like I said, in 4 years. It's still Dropout for me.
Damn. Um,
Actually, let's get into that right now. Like,
let's do
what
it. Let's do it.
one of the things I wanted to talk about and think about is, we listen to Bill Simmons occasionally. One of the best things that he gave us was the idea of Apex Mountain.
Yes.
And I was wondering I was thinking about the Apex Mountain of Jay and Kanye in relation to this album. For me, yeah, I still take Dropout. I take Dropout. I take Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy as two. My number three. Now, because I haven't listened to Kanye in a long time, that can be up for discussion. But if you, my argument for it is Apex Mountain for Kanye and not Jay. If you look at everything surrounding Kanye at this time,
Mm-hmm.
coming off of Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which that album was pop culture. Like that album brought him all the way the fuck
It's a
back.
living piece of pop culture to this day.
It is. It is. And then with Throne, not only the Throne, but then the Yeezy 2 Nike. And you talked about the teaser video. I vividly remember pausing the teaser video when he wore the Yeezy 2 on a concert performance, and they're flashing, like cameras flashing, so you have to pause it just right. And if you pause it just right, you can see the Yeezy 2 before like the official pictures came out of it, you know, and then the concert to that, and then, you know, niggas in Paris. It's just, and this is when he's with Kim, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not fully a Kardashian yet.
Right.
Like, this is the apex of what Kanye is. Like, this is him guiding pop culture and rap music in a lot of ways. The fashion of it, the fashion of what luxury rap did, whether good or bad, it phased out what streetwear actually was, and it brought in like people chasing like the bigger labels like Balenciaga, and then Off White becoming a thing, Pyrex, um, Virgil blowing up off of that. But then you had Don C kind of on a peripheral.
Mm-hmm.
You
Sure
had
did.
you had and then the son of that, ASAP Rocky, who was coming out at the time. you know they were pushing like their brands as far as what they wanted for streetwear, and the idea of, you remember, like LRG and Artful Dodger and all those streetwear brands that we used to wear that were fly and that were affordably priced.
Right.
Now, no, we're wearing leather pants now. It's so crazy, bro. And it's like, and Jay brought into it, so that obviously meant that like there was a level of validity to older men now buying into it. And I mean, that was, it's sad in a lot of ways. That was the death knell of what streetwear actually was.
Yeah.
And but that's what the power of Kanye was at that time. Like, that's the power of what he could make pop and what he could not. Like, I remember even the shirts that they sold on tour selling for like mad money.
Mad money.
And it's, I just think that at that time, you know, we were alive during the Michael Jackson era. We weren't alive during the Beatles era. I think that's the closest to what Michael Jackson was in America, at least. Obviously, globally, Michael Jackson is just phenomenon. But
Yeah.
what Kanye was at that point, coming a couple of years after Mike passed, I think that's the closest to what we'll see what a superstar can do, just in multiple avenues
Yeah.
and just slowly killing shit. Um, do you now, like I said though, I think it's Apex Mountain for him, but not necessarily Jay though. But what do you think that? where do you hold Watch Your Throne in Kanye's discography, and where do you think this moment of time for his career puts him at?
Um, 2010 and 2011 is obviously, in my opinion, apex Kanye's apex. There was no other time where he was operating at such a high level with the music he's putting out and the rhymes he's putting out and the feelings he invoked out of out of you by his music. So I definitely feel like this is part of his apex. I don't feel like it's in like one of his top albums. It's up there. It's top five, but um, it's really hard to put '04 Yeezy against 11 or 10 Yeezy or '07 Kanye, which is really when graduation happened. It's kind of when he even went to a higher level than we thought he could even do.
Yeah.
It's hard to even put '07 Kanye, who beat Wayne on the track, to against 2011 Kanye, who literally was inviting legends to Hawaii to record 4 bars and then being like, all right, cool, appreciate it. And then taking that and then building, and not only that, but having 16 people sing the hook on all the lights just to get Drake off the song. So let's not forget about that either. There's no beating this version of Kanye West, and honestly, up until I'm one of those people who think that Yeezus was great. So I'd even say 2010 to 2013 Kanye is Apex Mountain for Kanye, and then it kind of started backpedaling from there, and then he's since fallen off the mountain.
You think Yeezus is great?
I love Yeezus. I love
Ooh,
Yeezus.
that is a take.
It's a
But
take, but I loved it from the first time I heard that album. And I know it's weird. I know sonically it's different for everything else he did, other than the very last joint, which Bound to, which is an incredible addition to the discography and Blood on the Leaves. But I
yeah,
really like the whole world building that he did with Yeezus. Like I can go visit Yeezus World, which I haven't done still. I haven't listened to Yeezus in years, even when I was going back to discography last year. Um, I still always enjoy going to that world because I never considered it more than that. Like I kind of saw it as his vision for this one project, and you either buy in or you don't. And a lot of people didn't, but I did.
um, yeah, I would still. I think just because the polarization of what that was, I think that's why the mountain is starting to decline there.
Hmm.
And and that and honestly, like that's the first album that really people were kind of polarized on, because I mean 808s and Heartbreak, I think in a lot of ways there were people that were kind of put off by it, and then
Oh yeah,
obviously the incident with um Taylor Swift happened, and like people in middle America now, they think Kanye West is a dickhead,
I
and so it's
hate
kind
you,
of like,
Kanye West.
yeah. And I think the rebound is so great with Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and then that album, and then the comeback with the Good Fridays, and then Throne, um
Good
and
Fridays. We need Good
it's
Fridays, man. Good Fridays was the time.
yeah. And so I think that whole kind of era was really, really great, man.
Hmm.
And then he transitioned to when we had kind of uh Cruel Summer, that era, where it's kind of like he's obviously in that mode of putting other people on, and the big collaboration aspect of it.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily, I don't think it's necessarily improving his status, but it's not declining it. I think it's just keeping it on the level. And then when Yeezus dropped, and it being just so left field, that was kind of like a lot of people, and for me especially, like, yeah, there was a couple of good songs on it, but then the majority of it was just, I think Rick Rubin did not help that album. I think he tried to get it on track as possible, but I don't think that collaboration worked. And then Life of Pablo, like, came 3 years later, and then the touring, and then
Yeah.
the him being a full blown Kardashian, and everything else just in the gutter after that.
Yeah,
So
straight gutter balls. Yeah, I
yeah,
can see that. But my top five Kanye would be Dropout, 808s, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That would be three. Graduation, and then I would probably say Watch the Throne. After that, so it's definitely top five.
I'd say Dropout, Fantasy, Graduation. I always forget how good late registration is until I listen to it.
It's amazing.
I think I would take the way Throne is now and the sequencing of it. I would probably take late registration over Throne.
Okay.
And then after that, I do 808s, then Life of Pablo, and then Yeezus. And I'm not listening to anything he does after Life of
Yeah,
Pablo. So
I haven't listened to Yay Kids See Ghost or Jesus is King. Um, and 808s just hit me at such a dark time in my life, man. It was just a perfect soundtrack, so that's why I hold it in such high regard.
oh no,
Um,
I shout out to emo kids around the world. But yeah, man, that like I there's oh my god, it's I miss Kanye, but I I don't know when I'll listen to Kanye, but Streetlights, like any lonely kid used to knock Streetlights into the fucking stratosphere, man. Streetlights was so fucking rich and it was warm, and he like listening to Streetlights would hug you.
yes,
It's
let me
like
know. Yeah, man.
oh my god, bro.
Do
Fuck
I
this dude, bro.
still need time to grow? Oh, things don't always sit in. Don't get me started.
Stone,
Let me know. Let me know. Beautiful.
bro.
Um, I always consider late registration the older brother of college dropout. So I almost feel like saying dropout kind of puts registration on its level, even though dropout is clearly the winner between the two. So it's really hard for me to rank that one always. Um, and then the predecessor I feel like to Streetlights on Graduation was I Wonder, because I Wonder was
Love
my
I Wonder,
jam.
yeah. I
Yeah,
love I Wonder.
absolutely was infatuated with that song in '07. That was definitely something I'd always go to when I was up late at night and contemplating life. So yeah, yeah, Ye did many things for us, man. He hadn't helped us
Yeah.
lately, but he's done many great things
It's
for us.